Yo, this is DJ Jazzy Jeff, and you are checking out Montreality. I was a big fan of Eminem's, especially of his super early stuff, and I just kind of reached out to him. It was just like, yo, man, I'm a big fan. Would love to do some stuff, and he ended up coming to Philly, and we went in the studio and just knocked out some stuff. And it was crazy because that was one of the times that Will was in town, and Will walked into the room, and I think I played Will, just the two of us, and Will listened to it, and Will looked at him and said, you're either going to be the biggest flop in hip-hop or you're going to be the biggest thing that we've ever seen in hip-hop. And he never forgot that. Yeah. Because it was so outrageous, he was just like, either you're going to be the biggest flop, I guess because people are going to think you're just crazy, or you're just a super genius. And, and the super genius part really paid off.
Will Smith don't got a cuss in his raps to sell records. Well, I do, so him and you too.
Well, what's funny is Will, that kind of stuff, he just kind of brushes off. And the funny thing was, I ended up DJing at an M show in Detroit. And when I went in there, he kind of came to me and was just like, yo, man, when I said that stuff about Will, he wasn't mad. And I was like, man, Will don't care about that. And he was like, nah, man, that was just me sticking up for Dre, at that point in time. So, I just think in hip hop, you kind of understand that, you can never really take that kind of stuff personal. It's kind of like in basketball, you can foul somebody and at the end of the game, we go get a drink.
Can you tell me your name, sir?
Yeah, all I know is I'm upstairs, I'm listening to my Will Smith CD, and I seen all these flames going everywhere.
What type of student was I in the classroom? I was probably the average student. I wasn't the smartest student. I absolutely wasn't the dumbest student. So I kind of played in the middle, that I made sure that I did the work when I had to, but I wanted to make sure I had a good time when I wanted to. I mowed lawns, just any kind of menial jobs, just to kind of, I think more than anything, looking back now, it was just probably get you prepared, for a level of responsibility, or just, to be prepared for, being in the workplace or in the workforce. My first big paycheck, I think I bought equipment. I always reinvested back into my craft. I bought some clothes. I wasn't really the jewelry guy or had a million cars. I bought a studio because I kind of wanted my own place to be able to do music. Ooh, the key to success. If I have to give any keys, I think, it's remaining humble and always remaining a student. I think people automatically assume that they kind of know everything, especially in certain, industries and business. And I think you have to keep in mind that you will always be a student, and there's someone out there that can teach you something new at any given time, and you have to be open to learn. I don't read books as much as I should. I'm a reader, but I am the internet reader, and I'm the magazine reader. I'm the newspaper reader. I'm not really the book reader. My favorite cartoon character is Speed Racer. I grew up off of Speed Racer, and I just thought he was cool because he never lost. Favorite video game of all time? Well, that would probably have to be NBA 2K something, because I'm a really big basketball fanatic. Most musicians want to be sports guys, just like most sports guys want to be entertainers, and this is the way that I can dunk on LeBron. A cook. I think I was a chef because I love to cook, and I think if I wasn't in music, I would definitely be a cook. It would probably either be pancakes for breakfast or crabs for dinner. I'm working on an album with a guy in Philly named Dosage that we're going to be putting out a project this summer. I'm actually working on a project with my 13-year-old son, Our Miracle. Hopefully that'll be out in the fall. I finished a project with a young lady named Aya from Toronto. Hopefully that'll be out sometime later on this year. And just my touring schedule. So, I'm always looking for something new to do. I actually spoke to Will about 2 days ago. I absolutely think it's possible. I think what the issue is, that I have a very close friend who's probably one of the biggest movie stars on the planet, and that takes up so much of the time, that we're just trying to figure out, the right time. I think, you get to a certain point in time in your career, and it's not the desire, it's just the timing. So now we're just trying to work on, work on the timing of us kind of getting together and seeing what happens. We had so many, because we never really took, it so serious that we didn't really have a good time. I remember we were on tour with Run DMC, and the radio promoter wanted to take Will to a radio station to do some promotional stuff, and he actually got lost. He got lost, and then his car broke down. And it was to the point that we had to be on stage in about 5 minutes, and no one knew where he was, and you were kind of upset because it was like, wow, we're probably going to end up missing the show. So they put another group on, and then put another group on, just trying to buy time, and like 2 minutes before we were about to go and basically, cancel the show, he pulled up in the cab and basically ran out of the cab and ran backstage and ran on stage in his street clothes, and we were all dressed up in our stage gear, and he ran out in his street clothes, and we just did the show. My favorite Will Smith, Independence Day. Well, I've never seen a movie that much action happened, before half of the movie, that half of the world was blown up. I thought that was really cool. And then it was kind of like a really big, super duper blockbuster that, one of my close friends was in, which was kind of weird, that you're kind of like, this is a movie that I would go see, and my man is in it. Like, wow, that's cool. Well, I tell the story all of the time. It was a little bit bittersweet because we boycotted the Grammys for that award because they didn't want to show the award on television. And we just kind of felt that hip-hop was too much of important music for them to not recognize it on television, so we boycotted, not knowing what the repercussions were going to be. And it worked. I kind of think, with the just due that, hip-hop, has gotten, over the years, I think the importance, became a lot more relevant as time went on. I think just that it's not fair. The industry has never been set up for artists. It's been set up for record companies to basically kind of control, and, from a monetary as well as a creative point. I just think it's a little bit different now that with the emergence of the independent artists, that artists are now taking more control over their career. So I'm happy about that. Well, I gotta go with my man Dosage. We're working on a project. I definitely think he's, the next up and coming guy out of Philly. You definitely got love for guys like Meek Mill, who, who's doing it real big right now. And then, you never forget the Freeways and the Young Chris's and all the rest of those guys too. Who is my hero? It would probably be my mom. My pop passed away at an early age, and I just think, my mom did an amazing job at making sure that I had everything that I needed, and I was just kind of prepared to take on whatever life brought me. Nah, I don't think you can ever call yourself a legend. The funny thing about me is I don't really pay attention to a lot of the things that I have done, and I think it's a level of fear that I think when you do, you're getting close to the end. And I am so far away from the end of what I'm doing that, I don't even think about it because I'm still doing it. My message to the youth is do not think that you can't achieve anything that you want. And that goes from being, from the basketball player to the rapper to the president of the United States to the CEO of Microsoft. If you believe that you can do it, you can do it. You just have to put forth the energy and the effort to do it. It's not going to be easy, but it'll be worth it. That's Montreality.